Hello everyone, it's Jeff back again to say hello with another video. Um, it's Wednesday and it's been nearly a week since my last video, and this very likely will be the only video I make this week because it is literally a jam-packed week. uh, Quick house update, the sewer line work. Sorry, just adjusting this camera here. The sewer line work is done, and I've got a landscaper lined up to replace my sod completely in my house. And that should take place probably either tomorrow or Friday. I'm hoping. And the big projects for the year will be done with this house because I sure as hell can't afford anything else. All that said, I have a couple of record store day purchases that I made online. Just about all of them actually bought on record store day. Sitting in the lobby of the theater where we saw Black Panther. And it's one of those things where I was hemming and hawing about it, and I'm talking to my wife, and I'm like, I don't know if I should get this or that or da 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 da. And she goes, this is one of the reasons why I love this woman, one of the million reasons. And she just looks at me and she goes, "Are you going to buy those records, or am I going to buy them for you?" So, okay, honey. Hey, it's always nice to have permission, ain't it? You guys know what I'm talking about. I know. Happy wife, happy life. Anyway, I've got 4 of the 5 records that I bought are here. The 5th one, I'm just going to tell you what it is because it's still not here. And it's been in transit for like almost 2 weeks now, and I'm kind of dreading it showing up. I hope they packed it well. It's the Allman Brothers set live at the Atlanta Pop Festival, summer of 1970, or July 3rd and 5th shows. And yeah, they allegedly shipped it the next day. Well, no, Monday, I'm sorry. And then it shipped out of Mesa, Arizona, stayed in LA for a couple days, and then it went all the way across the country to Springfield, Massachusetts. I don't know how that happened. Somebody goofed somewhere. And then now it's been working its way back west to me, and it's still not here. So, like I said, I'm going to be cringing when I open that package because I sure hope it's all still in one piece. Anyway, that I'll just show whenever I get it, whenever I make my next video. Hopefully it'll be here by then. And then in another last-minute purchase, Bobby Z posted on Facebook an RSD purchase of the Hot Tuna live set, which is kind of like an alternate takes thing of their debut album. And I didn't even know that was available. I love Hot Tuna, so... And the price was right on this one. The price wasn't that bad, so I just went ahead and ordered it. So that'll be coming too. This has probably been the biggest record store day year since I've been paying attention to them, easily. Yeah, usually I might buy 1 record or 2, and usually end up being disappointed because I either couldn't find it or I just didn't want to drop the money. But this year, I guess it's kind of different. And this first record, which I think others have shown, I haven't listened to any. Well, I've listened to one of these, but most of these are still in the shrink, so I can show them in its pristine condition. David Bowie, Welcome to the Blackout, live in London, 1978. This is a triple live album. Did I need another live Bowie album? No. I've got probably 4 or 5 others already. But last year, the one record that I wanted that I never got for the reasons that I just gave, because it was too expensive, was the Cracked Actor live set from last year's Record Store Day. And I found that if you don't buy these things like the day of or the day after or that weekend of Record Store Day, the prices just shoot through the roof. All of these I've got for just a little bit over list price, so it wasn't that bad. So this year when I saw that they were putting out another triple live set, even though I didn't really need it, I'm a Bowie fan, so of course I'm going to get it. Actually, when I went to my record store that Saturday, they had the Bowie Now album, and I didn't buy it. I don't know. I had it in my hands and I just put it back, but this was the one that I wanted, so this is what I got. That's the first one. And the next one is another common one that I've seen. It's the Alternative Moondance. I've seen several people show this, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. You know, if I'm sure anybody who's watching these videos has probably seen this pop up at least once or twice, or maybe 3 times on other people's record store day hauls, so you pretty much already know what this is. Alternate takes of the Moondance album, except for one. I keep bumping the camera, I'm sorry. Let me back up a little bit here. Except for I think there's one song here that Shamrock and Records pointed out in his video yesterday. There's a different track called I Shall Sing that wasn't on the original Moondance album. So looking forward to listening to this one. Moondance is one of my all-time favorite albums, so I had to get this one. And another non-surprise to anybody who's been watching all these record store day videos, I got the Piper at the Gates of Dawn mono copy. Really the only reason I got this, and I know I've said before how much me and my wife are Pink Floyd fans, I don't own this album, so... And I've never really listened to it. I know that's strange to say, but that's really the only reason why I bought it. And like I said, I was able to find it for a decent price. It was probably 10 or 15 over list, which, looking at them now, they're like double, triple the price. So when I saw it, I just pulled the trigger on it right away and got it. This is a classic album. I'm sure I'm going to love it. And this has been a common one that I've either been talked about or bought or shown on many, many other videos. And the fourth one is a single. It's the Chris Bell I Am the Cosmos single. This one I actually opened and listened to. And it's fantastic. I mean, geez. If you like Big Star, I mean, he was in Big Star, duh. This is a great song. Even the B-side called You and Your Sister is another great track, which only whets my appetite. I need to get the full album of this, of the same title, I Am the Cosmos. But this is another thing I didn't even know was available. I saw it pop up in a few other people's videos, and I didn't really have any experience with solo Chris Bell material, so I figured a single would be a good way to dip my toe in. So yeah, the full album is on my mental list of records now. So this is a nice little, it's like a mini gatefold. It's got some liner notes here by Chris Stamey of the DBs. And it's got an insert here on one side of the, I think it's of the picture here, and then you open it up, and it's the license agreement for the song with the record company. So that's pretty cool. And then, I can't read. There's a letter here from Car Records. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And like I say, I'm really not a 45 single type of guy. But this was an exception, and it sounds awesome, and it's an awesome song. So this was another semi-common one that I saw. So between these 4, plus the 2 that are still in transit, plus the 2 I found on Record Store Day, 2018 is easily the biggest year ever that I've spent on record store day. So, and yeah, it was a lot of money. I know everybody spends a lot of money on record store day. What are you going to do? You know, either if you want it, you got to pay. But the whole enforced rarity thing, I think, is just bullshit. And I know other people have said that too, and I'm in full agreement with them. If you want any of these records, you should be able to just go out and buy them. They don't have to be, you know, limited edition, super rare, super expensive copies. You know, if it's enough to draw people out to your store, why send everyone away disappointed, except for a few, you know, a few people who stand in line for hours upon hours upon hours. That's the stuff that doesn't make sense to me. A couple of other things that arrived or that I bought recently. I know I just said I'm not really a singles guy, but I picked this up by Bob Dylan, backed by the Heartbreakers. This is a song called Band of the Hand. And it's a song that I remember hearing on the radio a lot in the 80s. It's just the back side of the sleeve. And Band of the Hand was actually a movie, and this was part of the soundtrack. So this was kind of the beginning when Bob Dylan started working with and touring with Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. This single is produced by Tom Petty. So it's kind of a nice mix of Dylan with the big 80s production sound. So you can easily look this up on YouTube if you're interested. It's a good song, and you know, Dylan being a classic artist like so many other 60s artists in the 80s, they had a tough go. But this is an exception for me. I really enjoyed this song, so I saw it, so I picked it up. Band of the Hand by Bob Dylan and the Heartbreakers. And the last of the Jimi Hendrix albums arrived. I ordered this ages ago, but it was out of stock at Amazon, and it finally arrived last week. It's called People, Hell, and Angels. It's the middle album of, I guess, the trilogy of albums that you can call it, with Valleys of Neptune was the first one, and the new one, The Other Side of the Sky. So this was the middle album, and it finally arrived. You know, it's a QRP pressing, just like I believe The Other Side of the Sky was. Yeah, so like I say, I've got a lot of listening ahead of me. All these records I haven't even cracked open yet. So this one arrived also. And then as far as the listening goes, the listening side of things, I listened to this. It's called Machine Gun, and it is the New Year's Eve 1969 Fillmore show, the first show. I guess he played two shows, and this is just this was when he was touring with Band of Gypsies. Trying to do this with as little glare as possible so you can see the tracks. And this was also a QRP pressing. Show you the gatefold here. And I have to say, I'm still pretty impressed with their product, except, and you knew this was bound to happen sooner or later, the first record has got all kinds of haze all over it. It's certainly not audible. I don't know if it's going to show, but looking at this up close, like in the light, it's totally hazed out. I didn't try cleaning it because I haven't had any luck getting haze off of records like this. Like I said, it's not audible at all. It didn't affect the sound quality or anything, but when I took it out of the bag and I was looking at it, because, you know, these QRP records are, you know, pristine albums, and I saw that and I'm like, oh, seriously? But it didn't, like I said, it didn't interfere with any musical enjoyment. And of course, there is a ton of musical enjoyment on this. I think, well, these were the shows that the original Band of Gypsies album was taken from, the songs from these shows. Don't ask me if any of them from this made it onto the album, I don't know. But yeah, this is a great one, for sure. And another live album that I bought to fill a hole in my collection is Viva by Roxy Music. This was their live album, taken from shows in 74 and 75, I believe. This is you can see the song list there. This is a very nice album. Open the gatefold here for you. You can see all the pictures. And like I said, I didn't own this one, and I'm still missing their first album, which it's on the mental list. But yeah, this is a good listen to. And of course, everyone was putting out live albums in the 70s. But there's a lot of great live music going on back then, yeah? So this came out in 76, I believe. Another album that came out in 76. This is another one I showed on Facebook. A Trick of the Tail by Genesis. This was the first album after Peter Gabriel left the band and Phil Collins became the lead singer. And just show you the back here. I really enjoyed this album. The only songs I knew off this was the title track. And then here's the gatefold. I just knew the title track. And what's the other one that I knew? Squonk. I knew that one too. But listening to the rest of this album was pretty enjoyable, I have to say. I haven't really delved into Genesis, you know, pre-80s all that much, you know, except for a few songs here and there. So this was another case of me coming across it for a nice price. So I picked it up, and it turned out to be a great listen. So this was another good one that was spinning on my turntable just a couple of days ago. Trick of the Tail by Genesis. And finally, I've seen many people talk this album up. Several of them whose musical opinions I respect. And it went on my mental list. And I came across it online. And I won it in an eBay auction. And it is Wish You Were Here by Badfinger. Don't quote me on the history of this album, but this was on the Warner Brothers label, I think. Was this their first album for Warner Brothers after they left Apple Records? I'm not sure. But whatever the case may be, this is a great album. And this has been a lot of people have saying, you know, it's like a lost gem. It's one of their favorite Badfinger albums, if not their most favorite. And I've only listened to this once. You know, I'll have to spin this a few more times, but just on its initial listen, this is great stuff. I don't know why this wasn't a hit. You know, there's a number of tracks on this this record that could have easily been a radio hit. I've got a couple other Badfinger albums, and they're good too. I mean, it's just kind of like a power pop sound. Maybe not quite as energetic as power pop usually is, but very close. Great songwriting, great lyrics, great musicianship. I mean, this came out in 1974, so it has a little bit of that almost glam sound too. Like, especially for some reason, the drums just remind me a lot of Bowie albums from the same time period. I don't know why, it just struck me. But yeah, this is a great record. And Badfinger is, you know, it was a great band. And like I said, I haven't heard really a bad album by them yet. This is the third one I own by them. And I'll just add my voice to the chorus. If you come across this album and you're digging or online or wherever, and it's cheap and you're able to get it, do yourself a favor and get it. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. I know this was recently reissued on green vinyl. I think that's where... who mentioned this? Was it Jeff Party who mentioned this album in one of his videos a while back? But this is just a regular black vinyl Warner Brothers label album. So, yeah. Wish You Were Here. A year before Pink Floyd took that title. I know. By Badfinger. Great album. Yeah. All right. I'm going to cut it off here. Like I said, this is probably going to be my only video this week. Just got off third shift. Got a lot of stuff going on around here during my off days, and the weather is finally nice out. I can open up the doors and windows, let some fresh air in here, share all my music with my neighbors if they're around. It's all in good fun. All right, guys. Hopefully I will be back sooner than later, but if I don't see you before the weekend, peace. Have a great weekend, everyone, and yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Take care.